Hey everyone, Dark here, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to show you the top 5 tames that every solo player needs in Ark Mobile. Now these tames are of course also very useful for tribes as well, but for solo players, they are a necessity. Now I don't have these in any particular order, but if there's anything that you disagree with or you think that there's a different tame that is a better option in a top 5 list, leave me a comment, let me know what you think down below. Without further ado, let's go ahead and dive in. The first tame on the list is what I'm currently riding, the Pteranodon. The Pteranodon is a super important tame for any player, especially solo players. Pteranodons are super easy to tame, they take barely any time at all, you can even knock out lower level ones with just a bola and a club, and they take minimal tranks to knock out even for max wild levels. On top of that, you can easily breed them and get imprinted Pteranodons to use, and they're extremely fast and very versatile at getting around the map. Now they of course lack in the weight department, but you don't want to use this as your main weight travel mount. However, you can get around very quickly and you can even barrel dive into side spots of bases if they poorly position their turrets. So in other words, you can use the Pteranodon for some raids. For solo players, this tame is even more important simply because of the fact that they're so easy to tame, so easy to breed, and they're very easy to hide. Just hide them in the trees, take the saddle off so they look like they're wild, and you could very easily find them the next day and not have to worry about having them massacred when you get raided. And if you want to leave them in the protection of your base from the wild creatures that are on the Ark, they're super small, so you can even fit them inside your smaller base size. Number 2 on the list is the Direwolf, and I do have the Direwolf as the better option for solo players over the Sabertooth. Ultimately, they're pretty similar and almost the same in terms of the quality of them. They both work very well for caves. The Direwolf allows you to put a helmet on it, so you can put really high quality armor helmet pieces on the wolves, while the Sabertooths can have saddles with no durability issues. The wolf, the helmet will eventually break. The Sabertooth has permanent armor from the saddle. The difference here though, the reason I think Direwolves are ultimately the better option for solo players is because you can very easily get a very high level or max level tame on any server for wolves. All you have to do is go to the hard ice cave, kill your favorite wolf, the highest level you find, revive it at a revival platform or an obelisk, and you can tame it and have a max level or near max level wolf as a solo player. Super easy and very effective. Now these creatures are best used for cave mounts. You can use them in any of the caves. I have videos on all the caves on my channel if you'd like to check them out, as well as the hard ice cave. But since wolves are so easy to tame and they are amazing as cave mounts, they are number 2 on this list. Now before I continue guys, if you are enjoying this video, please hit that like button. It'll really help me out and it lets YouTube know that hey, this is a good video and it's worth sharing with other potential viewers as well. Number 3 on this list is going to be your key into the metal tier with all of the different tools and weapons and structures that go along with gathering metal and smelting metal, and that is the Anki. The Anki will allow you to gather mass amounts of metal very quickly and very easily, even as a solo player, which I do have a video up on my channel by the way on very quickly gathering metal as a solo player. Check it out if you like. Anyways, the Anki is very important to solo players and tribes for that matter. You should be spending as much time as you can on breeding Ankis to get higher and higher melee amounts. Now, contrary to what some of your friends might say and contrary to many common beliefs, do not level your weight on your Anki, level your melee. The weight stat will be most important in the flyer you're using to carry it. Number 4 on this list goes hand in hand with the Anki, and that is the Dodicarus. The Dodicarus is highly effective in gathering stone. Now, there's 2 things that are kind of key here with the Dodicarus. Number 1 is when you're gathering stone as a solo player, you can either use it like the Anki, where you're going to be flying it around and constantly getting off your flyer and onto your tame to harvest the materials, which in this case would be the stone, or with the Dodicarus specifically, you can actually put it on wandering and it'll automatically gather stone for you until it's at about, I think it's 3/4 of its actual weight. You can have it do this even while you're carrying it with a flyer, so if you fly it up next to a rock while that is active, while the wandering is on, it will hit the stone even with nobody riding the Dodicarus itself. Another reason why the Dodicarus is super valuable for solo players is because when you're attacking a Dodicarus and you take it down to less than it's either a third or a quarter health, the Dodicarus will actually roll up into a ball and take heavily reduced damage. A lot of times when raiders are raiding bases and they find a bunch of tames inside the base, or even a few tames, they will kill the tames to see if there's any items in the tames inventory. Dodicarus are a different story though. If it's an alpha that's raiding you, then yeah, it might not matter. But if it's somebody else that's maybe another solo player or somebody else hiding on the server that isn't as well equipped, doesn't have plenty of resources to spare, they might not kill your Dodicarus simply because of the fact that it would just take too much time, energy, and effort and resources to actually kill it. Because again, when you have heavily reduced damage with the Dodicarus, it can take a long time to kill these guys once they're curled up into a ball. So they are useful for hiding some of your blueprints if you need to store them in your base but don't want to store them in an easy to break box. Number 5 on this list, and this could probably be seen as the most important tame on the list to an extent, is the Argentavis. The Argentavis, or the RG for short, can be both your battle mount and can also be your flying mount for weight for farming metal and stone and other resources. Oftentimes it's best to use the RG for flying around your Anki or your Dodicarus and harvesting those materials. If you're flying with an Anki, just constantly stop at the metal, drop the Anki, hop on the Anki and hit the metal, hop back on your RG, pick up the Anki and continue on your way. With the Dodicarus you can do the exact same thing, or you can use the wandering technique like I told you before the Dodicarus. On top of that, the Argentavis can be a very effective battle mount. So if you level up a little bit of weight and then you level up melee and health, you can actually have a very good high quality battle mount with the Argentavis, where you can pick people, attack people, and you also want to make sure, this is super important guys, if you're going to use it for a battle mount, make sure you level up the speed. When you're breeding, you're going to be breeding for health and melee for a battle mount and maybe minimum weight. But when you're leveling it up, you're going to want to make sure you get that speed boosted up as high as you can, because a lot of players, when they're flying around with RGs, they're going to be having max speed, max leveled into speed for the Argentavis. And that's before the collar is even on it. So you're going to end up leveling all the speed up and then putting the gold collar on once the speed is at max level, which is 200%. On top of this, Argentavis are also extremely easy to tame. A lot of people will use traps for them, but you honestly don't even need to use a trap if you don't want to waste the time. You can just shoot them with trank darts. Try to aim for the head if you can, because they will attack you. Once they're close to being knocked out, they're going to start to fly away from you. That's where you want to make sure you hit them the first few times and not missing them and letting them get too far away. Now once it's tamed, you just have to decide if it's going to be your battle mount or weight flying mount, and then just level up the corresponding stats to go with it. Anyways, those are my top 5 tames that every solo player needs in Ark Mobile. If you agree or disagree with any of them, let me know in the comments down below. If you have a different tame in mind that you think is more important or more valuable than the tames I suggested, let me know in the comments down below. And if you enjoyed the video, hit the like button to really help me out, and subscribe if you enjoyed the video and you'd like to see more content like this. My name is Dark, and I will see you next time.